Hey folks, Mr. Justin here with Secret Weapon Miniatures and another Workbench Wednesday. First, thank you for tuning in and joining me. It's always great to have folks out there and be able to put together a show for you, whether you're tuning in live for the show, normally at 3 p.m. Pacific time, a little late today, but we'll get to that. Normally 3 p.m. Pacific, or you're catching it later. Hey, it's great to have you. And whoa, already Jeremy is now following. Thank you very much. Great to have you. Of course, if this is your first time, oh my gosh, you can tell it's been a day and I'm a bit flustered. Let me try this again, folks. If this is your first time tuning in, please remember to like, subscribe, bells, whistles, like Stephen has done and is now following. Much appreciated. Yeah, let me see if I can get to the workbench and find a bit of sanity and slow things down today. And Orion Paintworks is now following. That's awesome. Thank you very much. So I am back with the Thunderbolt. Today's been crazy. It's been the first week that my son is back to, and Jake, thank you for following, back to classes from home. So I'm back to finding a way to fit everything in and get here in time. And one thing gets delayed, and Timothy is now following. Thank you very much. Cheers. And suddenly you're scrambling to get to the thing that you want to be doing, and it's good to be here. Abraham, thank you for following too. All right, so this is the Thunderbolt as we left it last time. I had brought some shade onto the metal there. Jonathan is following. Oh my goodness, we've had quite a jump. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's see here. Let's fiddle with the focus to get that on the tail here. Oh, turn it off auto, that's why. Painted miniatures. Oh my goodness, we're having an explosion. Thank you, everybody. There we go, and there's some focus. So we brought that red onto the metal. We added some shadow. And of course, the cockpit's going to be open when it's sitting. And Victor has liked the stream. Thank you so much. That was great to have a like. And this is where we left it otherwise. I did a bit of weathering over here with the old oil, so we can get that coming out of one of the fuel tanks. And I do want to do some more weathering on this today. But mostly, apparently I want to cough. Mostly, I want to play with the cockpit, which means that we're going to take the camera and zoom in, but also I get to get my big eye out. What's up, big eyeball? It's big. Let's make it so I can see and the camera can see. And we'll figure out how this works. Be the first time trying to use the eye for a video, and oh hey, should probably put that on do not disturb too, like all the little things that fly out your head when you're trying to zip over and get to your desk. And I feel really bad that I was late today. Everyone here was working to make it otherwise too. And I know folks out there are patient and understanding, but I'd like to be here. And I said I'd be here at 3, so it's nice for you to be able to count on that too. All right, let's see here. I can work here. You can see there. Hey, look at that. It's going to work out just fine. And let me change the camera for you, because it doesn't matter for me. In fact, I can zoom in. Oh my gosh, look at that. All right. Looks pretty good. Starting to be able to see. All right, so I'm going to need to reach around the giant eye for some colors. The colors I'm going to be using today, for sure, anyway. Our Rebel Yellow. Of course, I mean, Rebel Yellow is best yellow. Today I'm going to use Federation Slate from the mech line. And of course, Tiger Black from the weathering line. Alright, let's see. Tiger Black, Tiger Black, Tiger Black. Looks like I've used some Tiger Black there before. Alright. Brush, towel, Fire black. Put this way over there where I can see it more easily. I can bring the palette back if people start to miss it, get lonely. But let's see. Oh, I'll paint it a little further back. Let's move the camera back. Oh, where do we want this? Maybe that works. Everybody. Just a little further back. Well, that's good. Now set the camera for a ride. Alright, so I'm just cleaning up a bit to help me define the. Oh yeah. Hey, Les is like the stream. Welcome, Les. Woo! Workbench Wednesday, and Les. If I saw from your posts in BC Wargamers there, you're on holiday too, aren't you? Like checking in from far off locales and distant climes. Also, I'm catching a hair here. What? I painted a hair into my model. That never happens. It happens a lot. I don't know why. It's weird. Anyway, maybe it's not that weird. Alright, so I have done a bit of, and Matthew's like the stream. Thank you, Matthew. Great to have company tonight. Alright, I have done a bit of blocking in additional chair spots where I want to keep things subtle and simple. There's all that further back than I do. That's fine, I'll do that. Well, let's get everything under there. That's just I'm gonna keep doing that too, aren't I? Throwing paint around down there. Slap, 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 slap. And Victor has liked. Thank you, Victor. Alright. So I've stopped some color around, right? Coming back to where you can see it. And let's see, if I want to have it like right here, actually get the camera close enough for you. I really can't, so I'm going to have to learn to do it over there. Alright, that's fine. And Greg has joined. Hello, Gregory. Great to have you, man. Nice to see a familiar face today. Alright, so I have just blocked out a little more color inside. Well, blocked out a little more non-color, I guess, the shadow areas here. I'm going to add another spot right in here. Right in here. No shine. No shine for you. None, 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 none. Oh my God, it's going to make me dizzy. I've got to learn to stop doing that. Alright. More action like that right here. All across that. Let's just do that whole thing. That makes more sense. Ooh, that back wall. It's too dark again. I got it when I airbrushed the engine metal to get this silver back here. I want to clean off all that. Get all that area back there dark. All of this. And that's going to help everything I put in front of it stand out. I really want everything in front to be brighter, shinier. Trying to draw that attention down to the cockpit and to the dash panel where I've done all of this work. And in fact, I'm doing more of it tonight because I realized I'd left a panel, and I'll show you the panel here in just a minute. I'll show you the panel I'm talking about. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and get these again. Not perfectly, just a little bit. Get some of that tiger black underneath there so I can just dry brush some silver over the top of those. There we go. Where's dark? It should be dark. see. Let's show you that panel I'm talking about. So I'd originally left this panel pretty much alone. The additional gauges and large buttons up here, large switches, switch covers, whatever. Those are, this whole thing here is an addition. But all of this down here is original 4-H World. Now, the little dials that are here, they're very shallow. So I'll go in and I'll drill those out later, and that's fine. But here on this, I'd originally intended to leave this panel blank. So I was like, well, you know, that's like a little computer screen. You can do little computer screeny things on there, and I can do a decal or some freehand or something. And then I realized, or remembered that this is going to be a plane that is in a maintenance bay. That's going to be turned off. And sure enough, digital displays when a plane is turned off tend to be dark because there's nothing for you to look at. You've got to turn off standby. That's not going to be happening. So I am going to add a little panel bed down there with some more little switches on it. And I'm going to do some of that. I'm going to do some painting here to add some color. Yeah. All right. So let's see. Color in the cockpit, or new detail. I should also grab color for the leather here. Although maybe I want those to be black, white, I don't know. Maybe the seatbelts wind up white. I don't know. I haven't decided on a color for the seatbelts, so I suppose I might as well leave them alone for now. Whereas another thing that I'm going to do, in fact, I see a spot here I need to clean up. I'm also going to add a bit more definition to the cockpit panels here, because they are not, in fact, going to be black. Not at all. And that's why I had that Federation slayed out. So let me do that. So that's going to help me visualize the cockpit a lot more, which is one of the challenges I'm having right now with some of this, because even trying to pull definition out of those, I'm really struggling. They're just so shallow. I'll clean that up a little bit. We've got the altimeter there, that's fine. Trophy from the white, that's fine. Tidy. All right. My very fancy palette. I need a very fancy palette to do very fancy painting. Look at me doing very fancy with my very fancy palette. Shake up my Federation slate. Put it back where it belongs. Alright, so I'm going to take some Federation slate. I'm going to take it out of this pot. I'm going to put it into this pot because I'm going to thin it a bit. I'm going to dry off my brush before I bother testing this. And to test it, I'm not going to jump straight into the model. Oh no. I'm going to go around here to the plastic. Over there, see if it sticks to the wall of the palette. I'm going to do a little bit of tip shaping. Pull out some of that excess paint. Add a little in here to thicken it up a bit. Drag it all out of my brush. I like that flow, and then I'm going to try a little bit of fine line work here. And I'm going to get some squigglies. Well, I can't really show you the squigglies here. So there were some squigglies. Which lets me know I can use the brush to do what I want to do, and that I should tighten this a little bit because it got loose when I was messing about. Alright, here we go. So, one of the things I noticed about cockpits is that they tend to have lots of removable little panels around them and be defined by that. So I am going to start by adding in a few little panel areas. That's why I wanted to paint a bit thinner. Make sure it gets me not too thin. I don't want to wash. It's suddenly flowing everywhere, but I want to make sure it stays wet on the brush for a while. And I'll come back like the lazy fellow that I am with some pens. I don't want to say I'm lazy. That's not fair. Pens aren't lazy. They're a tool. Nothing more, nothing less. For some people, it's very easy to freehand straight lines and tiny little details. For me, it's quite a challenge sometimes. I'm not worried about getting it over here. It's easy to clean up. Now I'm only concerned about adding some gray to the cockpit panels so that they have more definition, they're easier to see. Yep. And then coming in and adding some individual panel line definition to them. Hey, Travis has liked this stream. Welcome, Travis. There's a regular friendly face. Alright, so we've got some of this Federation slate in here. Defining some little panels for us. I might highlight that a bit later. I don't know. I like the idea of it being dark enough that I can add some white accent to it as well, though, some little labels. I'm going to do a couple of sections of this, and then I want to make sure, and howdy, Travis. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you. Alright, let's see here. But I want to be able to come back with the pens and show you what a difference this will make. Alright, so let's get this one, in fact. Too much water in my brush. There we go. In fact, for now, I might as well just not worry about the buttons either. It's a raised detail that'll be easy enough for me to correct. Probably need to get back on screen though, huh? Look at that. All right. Alright, we have our little panel lines here. A couple of them just kind of started it just with paint, because it looks like I've managed to sort of kind of do that, which, you know, congratulations to me, I guess. And given that I'm no longer worried about hitting the buttons, I'm just going to go ahead and hit all this. Don't need to be as careful. Be a lot easier. So give these some definition. Throw down some color. I'll see about making some new details. Just spruce up another little section. I'm just going to come right through here. The whole section done. And here. I want this bit gray. Because you are functional. What else needs to be gray? This needs to be gray. Because you are functional. I know that whole panel does, but I'm doing that later because that's later. I'm going to do the arms of the chair because that is likely how that would be done. And then I'll shade that a bit more later because I don't want anything too light down there, too bright. It's going to help me define the seatbelt colors, in fact. Just making sure I don't draw too much attention down. Keep it up here where it belongs. All right. Set the brush aside and grab one of my old friends here. Uh-oh, I don't have one-on-one handy. 005, you are the... You're the big one. The 005, that's what I thought. Hold on a second. Trying to bump everything as I reach for the pen cup here. Nice thing about most of my tools is that they are in modular bins within reach. So, pegboard up there. It's easy to get to what I'm looking for. So I have my tried and trusty Micron pen here. Whoop. My old pal. Use that to trace around. Oh, saying hi to now. Eric has liked the stream. Thank you, Eric. Thank you very much. Go ahead and clean up these edges now instead of later. Visually distracting at the moment. I don't want to have to picture what it's like without it. I just want it to go away. Let's do that instead. Alright, so I'm back with my Micron, and I am working my way around each button. If it gets a little big, that's fine. I'll come in and clean up some definition in a bit. Yeah, that's going to be too big. Even at this size, that's too big. So I'm going to want to, well, maybe because I'm no. If I'm magnified and it seems too big, then it is too big. Let me see if I like just throwing down a line across one of these. I'm going to do this where I can actually get my head in there, though. Alright, do I like it for a line? Okay, it's about the same size as the line I painted. So I might as well at least use it to throw down a couple of lines. Save me a little bit of effort there, but I'm not going to use it to circle each of the buttons, because that was clearly too much. Alright, up here. Same idea. I want a line. A line. these up as necessary with a bit more of the Federation slate. But it already starts to add a bit of this way, that way. That way. Additional definition and interest to the cockpit. No, I don't like that one. I'm going to get rid of that one. But I've got to wait for those to dry, and because I used a pen, I'm going to throw down, what I like to do is throw down a bit of matte varnish on it before I do any additional paint, so that there's less issue of it running or bleeding or anything like that. But today I tried to take use a pen instead of the paint, and it didn't work out for me. Not there anyway. Alright, so I've got some Rebel Yellow. Rebel Yellow, Rebel Yellow, yeah, yeah, yeah. Rebel Yellow is best yellow. And I am going to put this in a couple of really key places here. One of those is the two ejection straps. These will wind up yellow and black stripes. I'm putting it on nice and thick because it's going right over black. And I don't want it to look green, which it will if you let the black show through. So I am slapping on some yellow. Okay, I'm also going to put it on this bar. This block. Oh, let's see. It's probably it for yellow. All right. Coming in that way. So let's talk for a minute about, there we are. There we are. Let's try that. Let's talk for a minute about that extra detail I want to add, because I'm not super keen on having that blank section in the cockpit get a blade. Wow. And a cutting mat. Wow. I am going to start by taking a rough rectangle. Bigger than I need. Substantially bigger than I need. I'm going to grab a piece of tape. Yoink. Stretch. Rip. Kaboom. Alright, I am going to get this the heck out of here. I don't need it. Alright, I am going to enjoy having that gone. Oh, that is so much better. Alright, I am going to put this right here. And I'm going to get... I don't want a good edge, I want one of my bad edges. Here's a bad edge. I have a lot of different rulers. Straight edges within reach. I am squaring this up, and I could have pulled out a sheet, cut exactly what I want. That's not how I like to work. it's just not. I'm not really pressing because I don't want to bend the plastic either. Boom. That's a good start. All right. Don't need those. I did measure this earlier, and I came up with 4x8 using a pair of cheap little plastic calipers I have within reach. I'm actually not sure where my good ones went in the reshuffling recently. But I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. So first off, how many of these? Let's see. You are currently bigger than I want. All right. So that's no surprise. All right, and I'm going to need one that's whopping 4. So I am going to tape this down again. Grab my 0.5, mark 4, and mark 4, and again, not pushing, just like, so it's going to take several cuts to get through 0.3 plastic. All right, there we go. Boom. And I need that to be about 8 millimeters long. From here. So let's see how this fits. I'm going to poke a little hole right here because that's okay. I give me permission. Hey, Miniature Mayhem, welcome. Nice to have your company today, however it happens to be working out for you. Now that is a little wide, and I'm not shocked. All right, so I'm going to come in and square up that edge, and then just kind of eyeball in like a wild person doing wild things, and plop that down. Oh, look at that. Oh, Justin likes. Justin says that fit pretty okay. All right, so now I have my widget, which I'm going to completely cover in tape because I do not want to lose it. And because my plastic looks like tape, and I need to get this plastic out of here because it looks like all my little pieces of white tape. All right. What was I doing? That was that. All right, so in my collection of plastic goodness, I have sheet, I have rod, I have tube, I have all of those fun little things, but I keep among them, and I have less on hand now than I would really like. But quarter rods, half rods, some fun things here, and I'm not using a lot of these right now because I'm not. I have, let's see, some strip, which is fun, and I will have a use for the strip, but what I wanted to play with right now is I have some 2mm triangle rod, and I want to see how that's going to look on here. It might be too big. It is the smallest I have. Obviously, it's the only triangle rod I have at the moment. I had a local shop that I would just pop down to for this, but I went during COVID when California had a statewide mask mandate for indoor shopping, and they not only refused, but said that people with masks couldn't come in, and I was like, well, see you, bye. Yeah, unfortunately, this is going to be too large for me, so I'm not going to do today what I wanted, which was to put a series of triangular buttons up there. So I'll have to think of something else that I'm going to do that I'm going to like, because I don't have a lot of space to work with. I have about 6mm by 4mm, maybe 4x8, but I definitely want to do something else to that dashboard section in here, and I can just come in and I can put the rods directly on here. The reason I like doing it on a piece of plastic art first is that I can use methyl ethyl ketone. That's the plastic cement. That's this stuff, plastic cement, the really thin stuff that actually melts the plastic together. Do keep in mind, I mean, I love this stuff. Do keep in mind that methyl ethyl ketone, MEK, is horrible stuff. You don't want to breathe it. you really don't want to breathe it. So, when you are working with it, follow the precautions. Be careful, be safe, like you should with all of the chemicals you're working with. Remember that cyanoacrylate. Hey, Monica McCoy is like the stream. That's awesome. Thank you, welcome. Even cyanoacrylate, super glue. It's a chemical. It can be a really serious eye irritant. It can do some horrible things to you as well if you're breathing it. With the fumes. If you're using it in an unsafe way. So always follow the instructions on your chemicals. All right, so back to the cockpit. I've thrown down some color and a little bit more visual interest. Let's get back y'all zoomies. Boom, boom, boom goes the puppy. There we go. Not those zoomies. All right. Well, the combination of zoom and focus is not going to love us. Oh, almost had it. There we go. So let me see what I have in the drill right now. It's about time for me to need to wrap up. But let me see if I have well, I have a 1/8 bit in the pin vise right now, and one of them at least. I usually have that one and a separate one, but just because there is a handle doesn't mean there's a pin in it, because I have a lot of them. All right, let me see how that compares to what GW gave me. I need the big eye bag for this. Oh, here we go. I get this right over the top of that camera. That'll work, huh? Oh my gosh, might even be too much. I'm gonna have to zoom out. No, that's gonna be too big, so I'll have to find my even smaller bits than this for that. But here, that's gonna be just right. Let's drill this one out. There we go, and I can add some liquid, some clear gloss, some realistic water, and leave that slightly viscous in there, a little dome, and that will work just fine. If I start to worry about it, I can get in there with some UV resin and clear and create a flashlight, and I'll be good to go. Oh, hey. I'm going to change that focus rig. There you go. So now these two have been drilled out. I'm going to make that a lot easier to play with later. And here's our little piece so far. I want to get off the tape. Add some goodies to replace that section there. Well, maybe. You get the idea. So I'm going to see about adding some buttons, gauges, toggles, something. Probably a lot of toggles. I don't have a lot of toggles in here. That's what we need. We need a whole bank of toggles. All right. And for that, oh, that's a fun one. Toggles. Your fabric. Oh, my wire is all in another bin. Wait. You'll do. This stuff might be a little too thin, even. Let me wrap a section here. But what we can actually use is teensy weensy wire. So I can take teensy weensy wire and create teensy weensy toggles that actually stick out just a couple of millimeters from that panel. And Justin Crawford, hello and good evening, friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is great to have you. I'm sorry to have you right at the end, but it is still great to have you and your company today. All right, let me tidy this stuff up. And of course, as I'm wrapping up, if there's anything I can cover here at the end that you still want to see, let me know. Otherwise, we've had a chance to throw some color down inside the cockpit today. We fiddle with the focus again. All right, throw some color down inside of there today, define the panels a little better. There's some cleanup to do, obviously. where I wasn't satisfied with how the pen did the work. So I'm going to come back with the brush and do all of that. But I'll wind up probably using the pen. Well, that's not true. I'll probably wind up using the brush to do the stripes on the pull back here and on the straps up here for the seat. Still trying to decide what color to do for, or to use for the seat belts. Oh yeah, some dry needles, Greg, for building with would be great. Yeah, it's one of those things I used to have an easier time getting a hold of, well, dry needles, acupuncture needles from the local community college. But oddly enough, their medical supply store has been, even for the kids on campus, has been closed for, I don't know, about 18 months now. It's the usual spot I would jump into for slide covers of various sizes and things like that, because that's really thin glass. And I really like working with actual glass when I'm doing a diorama that requires, glass. And thank you, Justin. Yeah, I mean, the original dashboard panel here is really just this flat expanse. This is it. We've drilled these together today, and I'm going to find a smaller bit, and we can drill these probably together next time, if I don't get to them myself this week. But same, I'll put together a little panel here with some toggle switches, maybe toggle switches on one side and maybe a pulley on the other. For a pulley, I'll just take a bit of tube, cut it in half, use the pin vise to poke a couple holes and a little file to make that little channel, and boom, you've got this curved thing with a little sit down. Oh, I'll have to show you. I should show you. What's the point of describing it when I can show you next time? That's the plan. But all of this again today, paints of choice were Rebel Yellow, Rebel Yellow, Rebel Yellow, the incredible, the undefeated, the amazing, the wonderful, the never to be replaced Tire Black, and the already put away in its bin Federation Slate. All right. But that's it for today. Let me hit OK there, and then go to that one. I've built and painted the kit before. Great kit, that is your additional duties. Thank you very much. Yeah. You need to work on a car scene as an excuse to make tiny parts and trash. Maybe it doesn't have to be a car. Like one of the things that I want to work on here again, pretty quick. I know I did, a crazy detailed orc battle wagony Lehman Russ a while back, but I want to take one of the actual the last generation Lehman Russ kits that had the workable tracks, because I still have a few of those, and I need to go through them for a couple of talented modelers out there that are hoping I'll come through with pieces for them, and I will, because I want to see what they do with them, and I have them, so I'll do that. But I want to go through it. I want to super detail one of those kits, like I would say an M4 Sherman, if I wanted to do like a weighting kit on it or something. I don't know what I want to do. I've done an exposed engine on a Land Raider, but I want to take some 40K kits and really get into detailing those more. Like I have here with the Thunderbolt. I have a Valkyrie with the Elysians inside. And it's the same thing. I want to take the cockpit, and I want to, super detailed the Valkyrie cockpit. I want to really detail the jump bay for the Elysians that are all sitting in their seats and ready to go. I really want to just, get that opportunity to play with some detailing for G-Dub's kits. See about getting some milled brass barrels done or aluminum barrels done, that sort of thing. I have friends with 3D lathes. Why haven't I had any gun barrels lathed yet? That's, I don't know. But I have a lot of ideas. And of course, if you have any too, man, throw them my way. That'd be great. Really trying to find excuses to show, the detailing and sort of junk stuff that I've gotten to be known for. A good excuse to do weathering, like maybe I'll do some Necromunda scenes. I see Necromunda terrain makers these days with their shops that they've got going on, and oh, that is great. I want to get into some of that action. What's the point of doing that? We've got a sack of corpses. It needs to be literal sacks of corpses. I want trash bags full of corpse parts sticking out behind some, food counter in a Necromunda display. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So, but those are all projects on the long list of projects right now. I actually only have one project on my desk, well, one and a half. I have a bust here that I seriously just started throwing some heat zones onto, but nothing more. Some green and some red. But I don't even know when I'm getting back to that. Right now, it's all about this Thunderbolt and yeah, keeping things going as we face new COVID precautions and keeping all the staff at work safe and the family safe and the kid going back to distance learning and yeah, getting everything going. So it's great to be able to have this time here at Workbench Wednesday with all of you. Again, whether you're coming in live like the folks here now, hi, or you're catching it later, hi. Really appreciate your time, really appreciate you joining me. And as always, if there's anything you want to see in the hobby world demonstrated here, let me know. It is my pleasure to make videos specifically for you. In the meantime, take care, happy hobbying, and from everyone at Secret Weapon,